Hello, welcome to TSBT, and I hope everybody's doing good out there on this lovely, beautiful day. And I always think of yourself highly of yourself, because if you don't, who will? Once again, I want to say hello, and I'm doing this video. I'm on this video today because the topic for today is why I no longer attend church. So, with that being said, I'm gonna get right into it. For many people that don't know, we are on a journey. We are on a journey, and the reason, for me, why I don't attend church is because at this time in my life on my journey, it I don't feel, the need to go. It no longer serves me. And just to give you insight of what I'm talking about, at first, I was brought up in the church. My mama made sure we go to church. It was time where I didn't want to go to church. Once I got maybe preteen or teenager, even before then, I just didn't want to go to church. Because I was a kid, I was young. So anyway, my mama made me go to church even when I didn't want to. So, but I had a good time when I did go. I did have a good time. So, growing up, brought up in the church. When I got grown, the first chance I got, at first I was like, I'm not going to church, because I had a decision. It was my choice whether to go or not. So I was going on then. I didn't go to church at that time when I was like 18 or, out of school. Between either I graduated high school or either I was 18, because I ended up graduating after I turned 18 because my birthday is in March. So yeah, went on. I'm just hitting the world as a young adult, and my mom couldn't no longer make me go. When I was under 18, the age of 18, or still in school. I can say when I was still in school, but once I graduated, I made a choice that I wasn't going, just because I had a choice to if I wanted to go or not. That was just me as a kid, at a young age then. So went on through life, and I'm just in the world. When you get that chance, like, to make your own decisions, and you don't, your mother is always your mother, your parents are always gonna be your parents, but once you get of a certain age, it's like it's nothing they can any longer tell you. They can't tell you exactly what to do. They can at a certain extent if you're still in a household, and I was still staying with my mother, but I made my mind I wasn't going to church just because my mother used to make me go. So with that little bit of freedom, I chose not to go. So I went on my early, fresh out the house adult years. I was doing my thing, the usual what most kids do. We want to not fit in, but just have our little bit of freedom, right? So I ended up, it started with I was drinking and smoking. I was able, at that time, when I turned 18 years old, you can go buy your own tobacco products, But now that's done changed. You got to be 21. So, which is a good thing, give you some time, because it's a bad habit. Because I'm 39, I'll be 40 my birthday, and that's a bad habit I picked up, and I'm still smoking cigarettes. So anyway, going through life, day-to-day life, going through my journey. And at the time, I didn't even call life a journey. I just was calling it life, because that is what it is. It's life. So I had my first child at the age of 20. And I probably would go to church here and there, but not just, oh yeah, I gotta go to church. It might be my mom or my sister invite me to a church or something like that, invite me to go to church, and I would go. But as I was going through life, going through changes, and still not seeking. I wasn't seeking God in my younger adult age, so I ended up having my second child at the age of 25. So, like I say, I would go to church randomly, not like I'm just making it my business to go to church. So, yeah. And then life going on after my second child, and I was on my own and doing my own little thing, and I was seeking. It was a time when I was by myself. I was going through things, and that God helped me. The church helped me because it gave me positive influence and all that good stuff. At that time in my life, that was like my early 20s. Like I said, I had my second child when I turned 25 years old, and I would go to church just to say, yeah, we're going to church today, randomly. But then when I got on in my 30s, I ended up, this was my second relationship, because my first relationship, my kid's father, I was with him 10 years, 10 years. I met him right before I turned the age 18. And my mother was that type of mother, like, no, you don't have a boyfriend. So me and him was talk on the phone, even though I'm still, in my mother's home. And the day I turned 18, that was the day I met him in person. It's crazy, right? Yeah. Me and my kid's father, the man that I ended up staying with for 10 years, we met each other over the phone through a mutual friend. She the one hooked it up. And so anyway, met him when I turned 18. That just give you a little insight of, how my life going. So I'm going back to after my second child and with the church thing. So yeah, when I end up meeting a man. It was actually on Valentine's Day. I ended up meeting him, but before that, I would make it my business to go to church. Even before I met this guy, it was like 2014 maybe, and it was on Valentine's Day. I actually met him on Valentine's Day. But anyway, and he was fresh out of prison. So, and that's another story. I don't want to get too deep. So I ended up going through something in that last relationship. I stayed in it for 6 years. But that and I'm the type of person, when I meet somebody and we in a relationship, I'm for you. I'm with you all the way. And, and I guess he must have knew that what type of person I was, even though I had trials and tribulation in that relationship. As my trial and tribulations, I ended up seeking God through that. I was seeking God through that. And so going through that relationship, thank God I'm out of it now. I don't wish anything bad on them or anything like that. And to this day, that person still try to contact me and all that. And it was the most drama behind just dealing with him. It was some more drama. So anyway, I got to getting into church because, like, I was just lost. I was lost. I knew about God. I knew about, because I got gifts as well. If God want me to know something, he going to let me know, And it's up to me whether if I took heed to it or not. And a lot of times that I know I didn't take heed to what God had showed me. And it wasn't too, I'm not going to say it was too late, but I'm still here and I'm grateful for it. So yeah, I ended up seeking God, going to church, me and my kids, going to church faithfully, going to church every Sunday. It was like in my 30s, mid 30s, somewhere in there. So yeah, but this particular time, I was going to church, like I say, faithfully every Sunday, join the church, me and my kids, We didn't really join it, but it was like, yeah, that was our church. So, when, church service was good this particular day that I'm talking about, what kind of made me skeptical about a lot of things. So, this particular day went through service. Service was good. Like, I enjoy going. So I went up there, like altar call when the preacher or the pastor of the church, they praying for you. Then they have like the deacons or, you know, the help, usher board and the ushers or whoever's there to help out that particular day. And it wasn't a big church. It was just a community-like church, a community church. So, yeah, I went up there getting prayed on. When it was my time, it was people in front of me. She was laying hands on them, and then I would see them lay out and stuff like that. So anyway, it was my turn, and the pastor, they got the praying on me, praying for me. And most of the times, especially in this, I know it's the Black people church. Because that's what, of course, that's what kind of church I grew up in. And it was a Baptist church. I grew up in a Baptist church. But, yeah, went up there, was getting prayed on. And after she did this right here, I guess I didn't get the cue that I supposed to have fallen back. But, no, because for one, I have on a dress. And I don't want to just fall out and I have my business all out. You know what I'm saying? So... And it wasn't like a long dress. It was like knee length or something like that. But still, I didn't want to just fall out on the floor and give a perverted man or anybody a chance to look at what's my underwear or anything. So anyway, the person that was behind me was a deacon. After she did that about once or twice, well, 2 or 3 times, and I didn't fall back, the deacon that was standing behind me was like, just fall back. He whispered, just fall back. And I was like, what? I said, huh? He said, just fall back. Y'all know what I did. I didn't fall back, but I politely held my dress together and got on the floor and I just laid out. And as he was telling me that kind of made me, I was like, this how this work? This, I don't think that's how you should do it. If a person feel the spirit, let them feel the spirit. But at this time, the spirit didn't hit me like that to fall out like that. So that what made me, I think I might have went another time or so before that, but that really just turned me in all the wrong ways. And before that happened, I went to this, actually my sister church. I went to that church, and every time I would go to that church, it seemed like the pastor of that church would always try to point out when, I did come. That's what a lot of pastors, some do it. I'm not saying all, but I can witness to a pastor trying to call you out on the slick, but you know who he talking about. Like, yeah, don't come to church like you need to. Out there in the parking lot over there in the car wash smoking cigarettes. Because he saw me. He when he made it to church or was coming out the building or in the building, however it may went. I was out there smoking a cigarette. I was. But I was in the car at the car wash smoking a cigarette. You feel me? So, and I wasn't even attend the church. I was so happy I was picking up my sister from church that particular day. So anyway, yeah, and when I made it to church, he tried to throw out little hints. He says, and then I was like, that made me feel uncomfortable. And so when after church, I told my sister, I said, you know what? They don't have, I say the next time they do that, and I feel like they addressing it to me, I'm just politely stand up and tell them, wait a minute, this not about me. Just be glad that I'm here. And you do what you're supposed to be doing. Delivering God's word, delivering the message for the day. So, yeah, there was that. But yeah. And so I was going on and on, went on. I stopped going to church. I just stopped going because a lot of things, I question, like, why? Like, a lot of stuff is just unnecessary to me, that like for us to offerings and all this and that, and then they always like they want to push everybody every Sunday to join the church. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because I know they have to keep it up, but Yeah, make that be somebody's decision. Don't and it be just sounding like they really trying to make you come on in. Will it be today? The doors of the church is open, and I don't know if the doors of the church is open for good, like for my good or they good. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and then they be wanting you to pay the tithes. You know, and I remember this time, y'all. Excuse me. It was this preacher. He was a man of God, and he was really truly giving these people the words, and they had to video this man. And you know, a lot of pastors disagreed with him, what he was saying, because they were talking about tithes. You know, basically most of the tithes is how the pastor or the preacher of the church get their income. That's how they make their money, you know, which I understand it, you know. And for those who are paying their tithes, that's good for them. You know, they helping the pastor out. They offerings and all that. Offerings normally go to, I guess, whatever need to be used for the church. If you know, so yeah. And that's just a lot, because I feel like if you gonna be delivering or giving a message for God to save somebody, actually save somebody, then you shouldn't be looking for money. But you got a lot of pastors out there actually want that money for them. They, you know, they up there for a show for real. And that's what, you know, that's why I say a lot of stuff to me is unnecessary. Like you got the pastor anniversary, you have choir day, you know, you have hat day, like a lot of stuff just unnecessary, because what do all that have to do with God? Everybody on this planet should be getting closer to God, and it's to each his own. So, but I will recommend Jesus. I would recommend God, because we was created. We are created, and that's why I don't go to church. It no longer serves me. And then you also have a lot of spirits up in there. Because I remember this one time, the church that I was brought up in, it was the guy in the community. He came to church, but the thing about it, he was drunk. And y'all know they made that man leave, like the pastor was preaching. And to me, I didn't see anything, because he was just agreeing. You know, he was like, I don't know what he was going through. He was drunk, true enough. And he was like, yeah, yeah, you know. And I really didn't see anything wrong with that, but they end up escorting him out. And I felt bad for the man then, but you know, I was like, you know, they just didn't want anybody like that in here. But he probably really needed, you know, he was probably seeking help, salvation. But he had a problem. Because that's why the Bible speak of come as you are, because we don't supposed to be perfect. We supposed to be wanting to be helped, treat people how they want to be treated. So yeah, and I remember that. I remember a lot of things, you know, and I had a lot of good times inside the church, you know, with the service, the singing, devotion, yeah, all of that. And I remember it was also times where I pretty much didn't have money to give, but I gave what I could. And if I didn't have it, I didn't worry about it either. I give my kids some change, let them go pay it in church. Or when they, you know, send the offering plate around, I put my change up in there. At least I did give some, you know. So, yeah. And so, yeah. And this journey, now on my journey, the church, I don't need the church, because I didn't find God in the church. You know, the Spirit can come to you anywhere. And I don't need to have anybody else validation to be able to talk to God, or know that when I'm in the presence of, you know, the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. So yeah, and it be all kind of spirits up in the church. You know, you got people in the church coming looking any kind of way, you know. But if that's all you had, that's one thing. But I'm talking about, when I'm saying this, I'm preferring to the ones that in the church looking like hoochie mamas. You know, I realized seeing some people come to church with the skirts up by their butts. Now, you know, and then they wasn't no small person either. I don't care what side you was. It's just some things it's not appropriate for the church. And I'm not saying that to talk about it, but that's what crossed my mind, so I'm gonna speak about it. So yeah, now, like now I wake up each day, I give my glory, my thanks, appreciation to God, because without him there is no me, there is no us, so yeah, the church no longer serves me, so that's why I don't go. And I just try to keep a positive mind over everything. I try to treat people right, and I'm human too. I go through things too, just like the next person. And, I know how to go directly to get my help. I don't, if I feel like I need to be prayed on, want somebody to pray for me, I get them to pray for me. But if not, I just talk to God. I talk to God like I'm talking to y'all. So, yeah, I don't have to go to church. Will I ever go to church again? I don't know. That I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't feel the need to go because it no longer serves me. Church to me is for to help guide you to get closer to God, And it's a lot of people that want titles. I don't need a title. Sure don't. To know that I'm God's child. I don't need a title, and I don't need none of that. And I can help somebody if I can encourage somebody. That's what I'm gonna do. And another reason why I don't. This just crossed my mind. Okay, it was one particular day. Me and my mom, we was out, just running errands and stuff like that, and we end up running to the pastor. And at this time I wasn't going to the church, anymore. My mom, I think, was still going at the time. And so, she and like me and my mama side by side, you know how you run into people and you might speak, and it's two people, not just that person. You're going to speak to me now. I don't know about anybody else because you got rude people. I speak to, whoever right there. Like y'all side by side speak. I'm going to speak anyway. I'll be out. But anyway, the pastor, she just spoke to my mom. She was just like, oh, hey. But I'm right there by my mom. She never said hello. They never said nothing. And I looked at that pastor kind of strange because how you act like you couldn't speak to me and you supposed to be a woman of God. I charged that to the game, But I remember that day. I was like, oh, okay. And so, yeah, I don't have to go to church because they humans too. And they not perfect either. They go through things in life too. So, yeah. So if I feel like I'm going to read my Bible now, I'm going to read my Bible. If I don't feel like reading it, guess what? If I'm not led to read it, I'm not going to read it. But I make sure I pray to God, give him the praises, and it may not be every day when I give him his praises, but I try to give thanksgiving and, glorify his name. If I don't say nothing but thank you, God, when I first wake up, and I try to do it when I first wake up, get up and going and stuff because he the one woke me up. And I advise everyone to be like that, to get closer to God. So, yeah, that's why I don't go to church. It's been nice talking to y'all, sharing my experience of why I don't go to church anymore. So, y'all be blessed. And I don't know how y'all weather is, but today we have some nice weather actually today for, it's January 31st. It's actually nice out. It's been partly cloudy, but it's not, freezing weather because we just went through some freezing weather. So, yeah, y'all be safe out there. And y'all stay prayed up. And know that you are somebody. TSBT, and we out.